The German invasion of Poland on the 1st of September 1939, followed by the declaration of war on Germany by Britain and France on the 3rd, caused great concern for the rest of Europe, especially when the Soviet Union, Germany's unlikely ally, invaded the eastern part of Poland. When the Soviet Union launched its attack on Finland in November 1939, known as the Winter War, Sweden and Norway loosely aligned themselves with Britain and France in the wake of the news, as they feared the Soviets wouldn't stop at Finland and would potentially wish to take all of Scandinavia into its own hands. Sweden, however, did feel that as the main supplier of iron ore to Germany, she had a degree of protection, and the Soviets would not want to wish upsetting the Germans. Norway, however, enjoyed no such luck, and was seen as a strategically important place for both sides. Its coastal waters were a huge incentive for Germany, as the Royal Navy had blockaded Germany, and since the start of the war had been searching cargo ships and confiscating anything that could be considered contraband. Norway was seen by the Germans as a potential way round this blockade, particularly for the transportation of crucial Swedish iron ore via the Norwegian port of Narvik. To Germany, the capture of Norwegian ports would also give its Kriegsmarine access to the Atlantic Ocean, allowing the U-boats the freedom to hit British merchant vessels as well as Royal Navy ships, thus breaking the blockade. It would also deny these ports to the Royal Navy, denying them access to the North Sea. The British, and particularly the not yet Prime Minister Winston Churchill, wished to mine Norwegian waters to help combat the flow of Swedish iron ore to Germany, and also as a hindrance to its Kriegsmarine. Norway, however, expressed its neutrality. It did not wish to become embroiled in war. It did, however, mobilise its army, air force and navy to protect its neutrality should either side wish to violate it. The British began to draw plans to land troops and equipment in Norway under the guise of sending them to Finland should the Winter War escalate. This never happened, however, as both Norway and Sweden protested the use of their territory being used to transfer troops and weapons. The British, upon hearing this, settled for the laying of mines in Norwegian waters instead. Adolf Hitler, hearing of the news that the Norwegians may be leaning towards the British and French, began to draw up plans of his own for a potential invasion of Norway. These plans were hastily sped up after the British made it clear it would not necessarily be bound to Norway's neutrality during the Altmark incident, when a Royal Navy ship intercepted and boarded the German tanker the Altmark to free British POWs whilst it was in Norwegian waters. I have done a full video on the Altmark incident, which is linked below in the description, so after this one, if you're interested, please do check it out. The British then began laying mines in Norwegian waters on the 8th of April 1940. This, however, was interrupted, as on the 9th of April, news filtered through that a German flotilla was on its way to Norway. German troops were landed in Norway, mainly on Kriegsmarine ships, due to the lack of protection and speed of transport vessels, though many of these still did take part. To hasten the advance, German airborne troops also dropped from the skies, seizing a number of airfields and key locations around Norwegian cities. The German attack was so quick and sudden that many Norwegians woke up on the 9th not knowing the country was at war until later on in the day. The invasion of Norway had begun. The phony war was over. Norwegian, British, French and Polish troops engaged the Germans in combat on the land, sea and in the air. What happened next, however, is for another time. Thank you all for watching the first episode in my new series on the Norwegian campaign. As I've mentioned, my video on the Altmark incident is linked below, so do check that out as well for a bit more background. In the next video I will do an overview of the battle, before dropping into key areas such as the Battle of Narvik, as well as the evacuation as well. Thank you all for watching, and Happy New Year to you and your loved ones. See you on the next one. Cheery bye.